And welcome back, everybody. My name is Eltimar, and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. Where we left off last time, we finished House Dominel, at least part of it. We now have a quest to do some evil things, but we're going to go explore the rest of the district first. And probably also go do the Dozens quest prior to destroying a reputation with them permanently. Well, maybe not permanently, I don't know how this works, but we'll figure it out. I would like to get access to their stuff, though, first. Also, I have hiccups, which is really annoying. Alright, so there's an Animancer in here. There's a yellow name guy, a couple of them. A Sanitarium guard. I'm not seeing an Arenicus yet, which is good, I guess. Sanitarium guard. Anybody that has a name that isn't a yellow... Oh, Head Warden... Eltimar. A well-maintained statue of a middle-aged man presides over the room, looking down, unblinking over the bustle of harried academics pestered by the hopeful desperate. A strong warmth emanates from it that you could sense across the room. There is a human soul stored beneath the stonework. You feel its attention turned towards you. It has been some time since a watcher graced these halls. His voice echoes deeply, rumbling the floor beneath you. I am envious of your natural insights, traveler. I can only imagine how it might have helped my work in life. Now, what is it that has brought you to my sanitarium? I am curious as to how you come to be in your present state. In the statue, you mean? Well, he laughs, I was old, and it seemed wrong to me, a lifetime spent in pursuit of discovery, only to lose it all in death. Somewhere, someday, I would wake up in a new body none the wiser, and pursue a different course entirely. All that experience wasted. If we are ever to unearth the principles behind our existence, it would be in spite of our condition, of that I am sure. To live on as part of something I helped build seemed to me a better legacy than what nature had in store. The transfer itself was quite simple, as our techniques go, and for that I am grateful. Playing with souls is far easier to accept when they're not your own. I do miss being able to take an active role in the scholarly efforts here. Now and again one of our animancers will humor me and consult over some problem, but they are a jealous breed, and are too often afraid to collaborate. If you are considering it yourself, I can tell you that it isn't for the easily bored. Tell me about the sanitarium. A history lesson. This is a rare pleasure. Most come here only concerned with cheating death, in one way or another. We are an old institution as Deerwood goes. It is our 94th year. As with many cities, the growth of Defiance Bay brought with it a host of problems. One of the worst was that those born with, shall we say, ill-favored souls come to populate the streets in droves, thus the sanitarium. Brackenbury was a natural fit. It was growing, but there was also a lot of money here back then. This place owes its survival to the curiosities of the wealthy more than anything, I think. Our founding came at a time of great suspicion in animancy, much like today. So much progress has been lost in the mishaps of a few careless practitioners. But in time, it was forgotten, as all things are. Since then, we have been at the forefront of animancy's resurgence. We have played a host to many gifted researchers and pushed the boundaries of our knowledge in ways never thought possible. Some of our first safe transferences were done here, and we have pioneered work in soul purification, lineage analysis, preservation. It is really quite the list, if you'll pardon my pride. Today it's, well, I can't say it's exactly the same. There's been some push to shut us down. It comes from the Deerwood's more excitable denizens, whose minds are more passionate than thoughtful, I'm afraid. People see this legacy, and they see it involves something they don't understand, so it's natural for them to suspect people whose understanding exceeds theirs. It looks to them like we're hiding something. We have a representative in the palace this very moment defending the entire science of animancy at a hearing before the Duke, absurd as it sounds. If it does not go well, it could be the end of animancy in Deerwood. I fear Avar may be swayed by all this unrest, irrational though it may be. We shall see. Oh, I can make a custom formation. Maybe I will eventually. Nobles. And a guy named Oddmere. He is busy, apparently. Apparently the nobles are all busy talking to, or listening to his story about some guy's soul that got torn apart by a Baoak. Sucks to be him. Alright, let's leave the sanitarium for now. What else do we have here? We have one more thing to do. Hadrat House. And then we're off to go get that breastplate. Also, what is this? What do we have? Average adventure completed. Sagani returns to the stronghold with 598 experience and money. Spoils rate in the Great Hall treasury chest. We should go there at some point and pick that stuff up, I guess. I wonder how close we are to level 8, so we can make some of our items superb if we can find the gems. Or level 6, okay. So we have some time. Level 8 is where we can make superb weapons, or exceptional weapons, whichever one. Dunrind. Curran is our person. Link, yes, I'm certain of it.
How do you do?
The Orland man is surrounded by books and scrolls. His wiry hair stands near on end, and his ears prick as you approach. You carry whispers, Cad Noir, Gilded Veil, old voices indeed. How did you know? The Orland grins, revealing a row of dagger-pointed teeth. As a cipher, it's my job to know these things. You carry the whiff of ancients. What else can you tell me? His ears twitch downwards, not as much as I would like, unfortunately. My duties for Lady Webb required me to focus my talents elsewhere. He regards the table, piled high with scrolls. What brings you to Dunrind Row? Looks as though you could use some help. Curran wags a clawed finger. Not at liberty to discuss my work, unfortunately. Dunrind Row, ears only. A civilian would need the confidence of Lady Webb before I could share. What are you so busy with? Hollowborn, growing unrest and the ever-present political intrigues. With so many missing souls, missing persons are the least of our concerns these days. Alright. Well, I'll go talk to Lady Webb then. Apparently not in that room. Is she in this room? Oh, it's like a giant weapon rack. It is. That weapon rack seems a little bit odd, because that sword is probably about as big as my character's body. And that just didn't happen a whole lot back in the day. I mean, I guess it could be an MOS sword, but generally you didn't have swords that were as big as people. For one simple reason, they were extremely heavy, and you couldn't use them very well in combat. There are like 1 million Dunrind agents in this building. That's a locked door. Maybe we shouldn't bust it down. Lady Webb, where are you? I need to get your confidence so I can help with this thing. Apparently she is nowhere to be found. I would assume she would be in her room, but... Would I get in trouble if I lockpick this door? I can't get in. Okay. If Lady Webb wants to see me, she'll send for me. Alright, so I guess we're not able to see her yet.
Gather your part.
We'll deal with that later then, I suppose. Unfortunately, she does not want to see us. We are not welcome. Fair enough. She's capable of making her own decisions. Let's go to the next...
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
I know that, thank you. Andra's gift time. Or no, we need to go to First Fires, so let's go back to Copper Lane. And we're going to go over to First Fires. We need to go to the Crucible Keep and get that armor. And then we'll go to Andra's gift later on. Because we have to go talk to What's-Her-Face in the whorehouse.
We'll fare better if we get some sleep.
You walked for 12 minutes. You cannot possibly be tired yet. What was I saying though? Yes, historically, swords weren't huge unless they're for show. The reason is, if you have a two-handed sword and you go into a fight, unless you're fighting one-on-one with someone, you're just going to get stabbed with a spear. Probably. Most medieval armies used spears for several reasons. One, spears have range. You can use them in a phalanx formation very effectively. They're decent at piercing armor, or finding gaps in armor. Swords are slashing weapons. Anyone with a plate armor, or chain armor even, you're probably not going to do a significant amount of damage to them unless you hit them really, really well. That's where we're going, Crucible Keep. So, there's a few reasons why. So, if you go into combat with your two-handed sword, you have your claymore or your Zweihander, depending where you are in the world. You got this hefty two-handed sword. It weighs 10 pounds, not a lot, or 7 to 10 pounds. It's not a lot. It doesn't sound like a lot. If you lift weights, you know that's not a lot of weight. So, you are swinging around this hefty sword, and then all of a sudden, you're up against 4 or 5 men. Now, they're going to be standing in a line, with shields. Those shields are going to deflect almost all of your attacks. Even if you get lucky, you might take down one of them. The other ones are just going to hit you with spears. You don't have a shield of your own to deflect it. You may think that you can just wave your sword around and block all of the spears, but that's just not realistic. You maybe block one, but these soldiers were also trained. They're good at thrusting spears. Spears are an exceedingly easy weapon to use. You hold them in one hand, you hold your shield with the other, and you basically just jab with them and hope you kill somebody. And you don't have to hope that much. It's pretty easy to do.
Good day, stranger.
Just this year, Eltimar says, every day we get more from the hinterlands pouring into Defiance Bay. It keeps us busy on the watch, it does. You look like you've recently arrived yourself. Eltimar gives you an appraising eye. Judging by the scars on his face, he's lucky to be able to do that much. Who are you? A soldier of the Crucible Knights and proud of it. I help keep everything running at the keep so that Commander Cliver can focus on more important matters. Cliver? Probably Cliver. Looking for something or just knocking the dirt off your boots? Tell me about the Crucible Knights. We're the defenders of Defiance Bay. We're not exactly a formal knighthood, but don't tell Commander Cliver I said that. He grins. We were the first organized militia to oppose Adiran rule, and today we're the largest force in the city. Our soldiers undergo years of combat training, and our officers are required to have their souls read by that critter out in Dunrid Row? What's this about Dunrid Row? Just a requirement of the Crucible Knights, so the higher-ups know there's nothing messy built into your soul's past. Eltimar widens his stance. Keeping the ranks pure is fine by me. I just wish they were more careful in hiring their ciphers. What's wrong with their ciphers? He shifts his weight and glances around the empty halls. They're mostly Orlans. I'm sure they're talented enough, but you can't trust them. Hostility's in their nature, and they've learned to hide it over the years. He frowns and crosses his arms. All I'm saying is, they should at least be supervised by other folk. That's reasonable, isn't it? You're wrong. Eltimar shrugs. I'm just speaking the truth. Nowadays it seems like that's the biggest crime of all. That's not the truth, what goes on in Crucible Keep. This is the headquarters of the Crucible Knights, so it's where we store arms and armor, as well as many of our soldiers' bunk. Commander Clive's in the back making plans as usual. He scratches a scarred cheek. You'll find the forge at the west end of the building along with our Mastersmith Dunstan. There's also a shrine to the Golden if you're the praying type. That's it to me. West, you say? West is where the forge is. I do like forges. Oops. This one? Ah, there we go. Dunstan.
If this is about
Dunstan.
the breastplate, I'm a forge master.
Oh,
I'm
wait.
a master smith for the Crucible Knights. But the way I see it, I'm also keeping up with our old traditions. The first members of our order were smiths. Nowadays, most everyone's a professional soldier. I suppose it's to be expected, but I think it's important we keep up with our roots, too.
A dwarf bustles between a sweltering forge fire and a work table. He wipes one of the muscle-knotted arms across his bow. If this is about the breastplates, I already told Cliver they won't be repaired till next week. Tell me about the
We
knights.
were all smiths back in Hodrick's day, though I'm about the only one here who still gets his hands dirty. We're a fearsome fighting force, though these days I think Cleaver takes more pride in our parade formations.
He thinks himself a progressive man, but he's obsessed with soul lineages and connections to the Tyrwood's heroes of old. He picks up his hammer again. Other than Dunrid Row, who really knows about any of that, though? The grieving mother's expression as she looks on Dunstan is somewhere between amusement and pity. Both live in a past of their own imagining. What purpose does it serve when so much depends on action now? How am I supposed to buy stuff from you? I need to buy things. He's not going to sell us anything. Penhelm, who are you? The young Noviet's armor is recently shined, and his hair is clean and neatly combed. It's hard to believe he's ever seen battle, or that the scarred antique breastplate he wears could possibly be his. Are you looking for something? Does the name Osric sound familiar? He sniffs. If you got any self-respect, you won't associate with him, or with any of his new friends at the Expedition Hall for that matter. Scamps and delinquents, a lot of them. Is that his breastplate you're wearing? It was. He looks down and admires it. It became property of the Crucible Knights when he was discharged. Now it's mine. And it's not for sale, if that's what you're wondering. Not every day you find armor that was used in the rebellion. He says your affidavit is a forgery. Just what would he know about that? It's perfectly convenient for him to cast aspirations, what with his pedigree and the knights. He folds his arms. He blinks at you. It's a lie, of course. What's the story between you two? Osric has always held some controversial opinions, but they went overlooked for the longest time because his family has such an extensive history of service in the Crucible Knights. He frowns and crosses his arms. He finally went too far, had the gall to suggest that we strayed too far from our roots and that some of our officers were beginning to resemble Adiran nobility. Or nobility, not nobility. He rubs a spot on his bracer with a silk handkerchief. He would have us all wear rough spun and fight with forge hammers. I merely reported his statements. If the knights obsessed with their past, they wouldn't have grown into the fighting force they are today. No, I'm going to say, that history made the knights what they are now. You can't just cast it aside. We've outgrown out that past. Sometimes you need to move on. Enough about Osric. How does one become a knight? We don't take just anyone. Our members share soul legacies with the very men and women who defended this land a century and a half ago. He shifts his weight and coughs. Anyhow, Commander Cliver is responsible for initiations, but he rarely accepts foreigners. Was there anything else? Tell me about the Knights of the Crucible. We are the primary defenders of Defiance Bay. The Order's founders were the first to rally for Deerwood independence. He waves his hand. Of course, that's ancient history now. Now we're the most prestigious company of soldiers in the Deerwood. It's a glorious line of work. He scrunches up his nose. If you can forget about the barracks, that is. So, we need to go talk to somebody else about this breastplate problem. What does our quest log say? Find Penhelm's affidavit at the keep. Let's go in here. This is actually larger than I anticipated. If I were an affidavit, where would I be? Probably in a library section. Is the library section? No. It's more of a stuff.
I could use a wee kip.
You're not getting a kip until we find an affidavit, old man.
I can do that.
Let's just rob this place a little bit.
A simple test.
Can't hurt. We're gonna be enemies of them soon
I'll see
anyways.
what I can do.
That's it? We looted it all? Oh wait, not this one.
I'll have it in no time.
Thank you guys for your donations to my build and keep fund. I appreciate it. This looks like a scroll room. Let's go into here. Can I close this door? Excellent. Now we're alone. Let's find an affidavit. Oh, it's right there. Well, that was easy to find. I'm gonna grab some books over here too, and
My thoughts will
traps?
be as silent
Nope.
as my feet.
we got an edict of arrest. I got a new quest for it. Unwanted. What is that? The Crucible Knights are calling for the arrest of an Orland man named Eorn. Apparently he's eluded capture thus far, though the Knights continue to hunt for him. Interesting. Now, where would Corrin be? This is Wyla. Looks like a fighting room. I love the music in this game. It is exceptionally good. Part of what makes an Infinity game really good is this exact thing, the music. Where did we put that coin? Oh, there's the dozens token. Okay. We're not going to do that part of this quest yet. I just don't want to ruin our...
We just don't have the manpower.
Where would Corrin be? Let's read this thing. Bring Penhelm's affidavit to Corrin. Okay, well we're gonna go try to find Corrin. I'm not exactly sure where he'll be. It says that he could be in Dunwich Row. Possibly. I'm glad we got the chance to loot some of their stuff too. I wonder if we're gonna have to destroy this place eventually. I wonder if that would go really well. They do have a lot of soldiers, but they're all like sword and board. That might be okay because we could do a lot of damage to them as long as we keep our front row clear. Alright, let's go to Brackenberry, I guess. That was, I think, where we were supposed to go. Curran.
Have you ever chased a skirt wizard? Or do you merely hide behind them?
Don't pawn
That's
your
awesome.
personal problems off on me.
They will use you, cast you off when it suits them. Never speak another word to you.
Maybe they just don't answer to fiery whore.
I actually like that. That was pretty good. Let's try the sanitarium, see if he's there. If not, I think I have some idea where he might be. Oh, I think I know where he is. I think we saw him earlier, actually, in the Hadrid house. With that, he was that Orlin that we talked to. I'm pretty sure. That was the one that was full of the deer, whatever people. Alright. Let's go find this guy. The Dunrin, that's who we're talking about. See Curran, yes, that's him right there.
Good day, stranger.
I'm going to show him Penhelm's affidavit. Is this affidavit real? It is signed by you. He holds the page but seems to stare through the words as if something woven in the fabric of the paper. Curran bares his pointed teeth. I remember Penhelm, a preening peacock of a man. His mouth dry and his hands moist when I told him he was the sole descendant of an Adiran general, one who fought against Hadris rebellion. He scans the affidavit. A forgery, and not the first I've seen. He hands it back to you, but I have no time for knights and their obsessions. Bring this to his commander, Cliver, and show him the seal. He points to the wax stamped by his forged signature. If he compares it to another, he should be able to spot the difference. A lost gaze flickers to you. Doom a man for the soul the gods gave to him seems rather unfair. It's not a soul. It's that he's a D-bag. He got someone kicked out of the knights just because he didn't like him. And he wanted his armor. Oh, I see. I have a feeling we're going to be dealing with the situation right now. Penhelm's face is white. Just talked to that little cipher, did you? One of my novitiates told me he seed someone in the records room. He takes a slow step for you, extending his hand. Give me the affidavit. I've done nothing to you. I'm gonna say, don't worry, I'm sure the knights will still let you scrub the latrines. He draws the sword and spits at your feet. I won't let you ruin me over this. Well, maybe you shouldn't have just sucked so badly. That's all it is. Nothing personal, man.
What?
Wow. He just rolled over my priest. That one did anyways. Alright, it's time for a sword. Go. Let's take this guy down. Oh man. They got past all of my warriors because they got knocked down.
Yes?
Yes? How may I help?
Come on, heal yourself. You can do it, I believe in you. Although I don't think you're gonna live anyways. Survive, Oloth. Survive. That's all I ask you to do.
Following your lead.
Well? Hey.
My mind feels sharp as...
Hey.
Following your lead.
Hi? These ones are in for
There we go, he got away. He actually survived to disengage. That was a tougher fight than I anticipated, but it's pretty much over now. Oops.
What?
Goodbye, Penhelm. I'm afraid your death is nigh. Alright.
Close your eyes, Watcher. Not all of us are on such bad terms with sleep.
Osric's family breastplate.
Of course.
Alright, let's go turn this quest in. And then maybe we'll take a nap. And we're almost out of time anyways, so this will be the end of this video, probably. And then we can actually buy things at the Expedition Hall, I'm pretty sure, because he said we had to do a quest for him first, and then he'd give us access to the stores, so that's what I'm hoping for. Some sweet, sweet buying of loot. Also, something happened to our keep. What happened? Oh, we finished Lord Berunger and sent him packing. Which is good, because he was a... We're also going to get rid of this guy. You, go. I don't want any undesirables in my keep. It's my keep. I don't have to deal with them if I don't want to. Let's speed up time. Also, we have Adair to talk to. Maybe we should do that first really quickly. We might go a little bit over time in this video, but that's okay. Let's talk to Adair.
Strange place for a shrine to Abidan, Crucible Keep. Maybe it made more sense at some point before it gathered all that dust. The only thing the Knights of the Crucible worship these days is the nobility, as far as I understand it.
I knew some soldiers who got recruited by the Knights after the war was over. They told me about some of it. They get these young kids in there and tell them about blacksmithing and about the revolution and tradition. Talk about the golem like he created the Crucible Knights in his forge to go win Dear Wooden's independence. Then they join, and it turns out all these knights ever talk about is when are we going to get recognized as a real knighthood? When are we going to get our titles and our land? Their High Justice wants to be an earl. Says it's Abidan's will. He's got a castle and an army. You wonder how long he'll wait before he starts a war over it, saying Abidan told him to. It seems like some members do take their ideals seriously. You see it with the older knights, some of them. They were taught differently. I feel for them, seeing all that slowly wearing away around them, with nothing to be done because the wrong people are in charge. Shame they don't have better people leading them. Fair enough.
Well?
That tends to happen.
I'll take care of it.
Not Wenin. Where's Orlan? He's back here somewhere, right? There we go. Or Osric, sorry. Let me know how it goes with the knights. Is this the armor you wanted? Osric wavers a moment in disbelief. He looks at you, then back at the breastplate. He reaches for it slowly as if expecting it to disappear before he can touch it. How did you manage this? You were right about the affidavit. Unfortunately, Penhelm forced me into a fight, Shame it ended like that, but he's the lying weasel who started this. You did all I asked, and you are owed much. He withdraws a leather coin purse from his pocket and hands it to you. Stop by Sonild's shop on the other side of the hall. She sells some of the best gear in the city, and I'll see to it she opens her inventory to you. We got moderate positive with the dozens, and minor positive at Defiance Bay. What is the armor to you anyways? Osric looks around trying to appear casual. Oh, nothing really, just a keepsake. He tries to look you in the eye, but when he does, he appears to reconsider. He sighs. It commemorates the Order of Magran, highest order of valor, awarded to the dead, never the living. Us dear Woodens, real dear Woodens. We don't have nobility or birthrights, unless you're some copper fucker from Adir. All we got is honor we bring to our family's name. Ah, copper fucker, that's a new one. So this, he pauses, considering the weathered metal, a pale image of its forest self, but still catching the light, is something to live up to. Got business with me? Nope, not really. Let's go buy some stuff. Where did the buy thing go? Yes, right here. Sonilde, show me your wares. What do you have? Oh, we can get exceptional weapons now. Unfortunately, they're all things like bows. Bracers of all-consuming rage. Wow, that's actually pretty impressive. I actually really like those. How much are they? $4,000. I'm actually going to buy them. They're pretty fancy. 2 might, 1 constitution. That is pretty exceptional. Snurf's Folly is resolve constitution. Dandy Hat is +2 resolve, -1 intellect. Cloak of the Fox and the Hunter. Not bad. The Monocrat Ariat grants Whispers of Treason and gives us will. Berserker's Belt is Frenzy, but only usable by our dear friends the barbarians, who we have none of. Alright, so we're going to buy that thing, but we're also going to sell a bunch of stuff. So let's take a look at our things to sell. What was this again? Greatsword. I think we have all the best loot that we... Let's see if we can get this down to him owing us money for those bracers. It's a possibility. We'll keep the Fine Brigandine, because I think it's better than what we're currently using on one of our characters. We don't need the robes, and we don't need the Fine Scale. I just want to check before we sell things. Fine robes we don't need. Make sure we didn't have any weird magical ones that we didn't know about. Oops. What was that last one? Oh, we'll just find mail. Okay. We'll keep the plate armor just in case it's better too. So he owes us 1,500 for those cool bracers we got. I don't need the reflex as much as I need the might and constitution. Now we have slightly more might, which is good. Maybe we can actually do a teensy bit of damage. Our might is 15. Not great, obviously, but some. Also, we should sell those traps before we go anywhere else. And whatever that armor is, just normal brigandine. Or brigandine, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's one of the two. This can just go in the stash. Oh, we can't do that now. Okay. Fine scepter. Not really sure what that does. Sell that. Sell that. Sell those. And we're going to go through the grimoire really, really quickly too. I'll keep Oloth's armor just in case. I don't really think we need it for anything, but I feel bad selling it. It's his armor. I don't know what that necklace does. There we go. Alright. That's a bit better. Okay. Now, let's go through grimoires and see if there's any new spells for us. There are. Eldritch Aim. Accuracy. There is a Spirit Shield. And a Mirrored Image. That was Nirid's grimoire. Faded grimoire as Curse of Blackened Sight, which I'm guessing is blind. It has Merciless Gaze, which I think gives us critical hits. Motion increases movement speed while draining endurance. Not great. Minor blights, shock damage. That was the faded grimoire. Right, yeah. Then we have Merewald's grimoire. And Bulwark of the Element against the elements. So Merewald's grimoire done. Sarika's grimoire. There's a healing spell. Temporary increase in maximum endurance. Nice. And a draining touch. Helig's grimoire. We get Ray of Fire. Sounds cool. And finally, we get a Slicken, which looks like grease. Alright, so we can sell off all these grimoires now. They're worth $100 each. Make back some of the money we spent learning all the spells from them. And that looks to be it. So that's going to be the end of the video. I know we're way over time on this one, but like always, if you guys have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm just going to take a look at Eloth's spells and get him to memorize different ones, I think. And then in the next video, I'll show you which ones I decided to go with. See you guys then.